Hello everyone, my name, as always, is Chaos in the Sky, and welcome to Round 1, Game 2 of the Anime Villainous Tournament Arc 2024. We're looking back up towards the top of the bracket this time, not quite the top, but pretty close to the top. Today's match is going to be Dgessner1 versus Codokay. So, without any further ado, let's just get right into it. This is going to be a very interesting match because I've never seen either of these players play before, actually, so anything could happen. Let's see how it goes. All right, and here we go. Dgessner versus Codokay, otherwise known as Thiefette. And it looks like Dgessner is going to win the flip and get to ban first. And immediately ban Dio, a man after Falk's heart. Made the exact same insta-ban. I think we're going to be seeing a lot of Dio bans this game because Dio has been a bit of a head scratcher for a lot of people in the community trying to figure out how to handle him. So I wouldn't be surprised to see some people, rather than learning how to deal with Dio, instead just choosing to ban him and not having to figure it out. We are going to see the Oculus ban from Codokay, and then they immediately know who they're picking. We're off to the races on this one. It's going to be Light versus Gendo. Oh baby, okay, this is going to be an interesting one. Gendo historically loves this matchup. This matchup typically goes in Gendo's favor in most experiences. So we will see how that goes. Thankfully, they were getting rid of the guides. I was worried for a second there. I was like, oh no, I didn't tell them before we started to make sure to like clean up guides and stuff. But Falk is on it. He is our judge for this one. Big thanks to Falk for, you know, paying attention. I do want to preface this. This is going to be great because the last video I prefaced, hey, I just streamed for 4 hours. Sorry if I'm a little off. For this one, I woke up at 9 a.m. So, or not 9 a.m. I woke up at 8 a.m. and then we're recording it at 9 a.m. We are going to see the mulligan from Gendo here. Has to start with 4 cards, choose to mulligan that, then draw his extra 4. And, but anyways, yeah, it's early. So, you know, cut me some slack on that. And thus, the game begins. Light loves anytime he gets to go to Yellow Box Warehouse. We are going to see a full fade on Gendo out the gate. Committee meeting is a really good first pull. That's going to be very annoying for Codokay. And then a Battle of Wits thrown down. Immediately discarding Rem, Paranoid Prep, and Misinfo? Choosing to keep Misinfo, actually, so we know a little bit about that hand now. And then we're over to Codokay. Going to Tokyo 3 off the rip. Very interesting. Very interesting. I wonder if Codokay has some kind of activatable card that she wants to throw down. Oh, no, it was a scheme. Took my hand off the keyboard for a second. Gonna throw down Marduk Institute, which is gonna trigger Battle of Wits, which is gonna be Paranoid Prep, which is immediately going to trigger here. Because, obviously, Codokay is gonna go straight for this fate. Why else would Codokay be at Tokyo 3? And now Dgessner has to choose what cards to ditch. Gonna lose Kiricult and decide to lose that Misinfo. And we're definitely gonna see a Mogi play here. Is Mogi going to move Light? Move Light to the apartments? Honestly, fair. I feel like I probably would have done the same thing. Take away some of Dgessner's options there. And that will be the end of Gendo's turn. I was curious if we were gonna see Codokay throw out an activatable item to go Clash next turn. Ooh, early Ryuk from Dgessner. I have to remember names. Also throwing out a Kiricult. Going to Yagami Residence to get that power for Ryuk. Now this is a much more common Gendo turn. Go over to Nerve HQ, gain 3. Do some plays. 2 Nerve Tanks out the gate. Putting them both at Tokyo 3. Getting rid of a Horrible Truth. Not Kozo, my man. Very interesting to see them both drop at Tokyo 3. As a Gendo player myself, I usually try and get some defense at Command Center and Terminal Dogma. We're going to see a really good turn from Dgessner here, going over to Light's apartment, moving Mogi over, getting Mikami out, using Ryuk with Mikami to get those free Shinigami eyes. Very strong indeed. There's Asuka. Gendo has played out the first child. And Mello is a great pull here for Codokay. That is very unfortunate for Dgessner, losing that Mikami eye right there. But it does mean Yellow Box is open, although Fate Pressure, ooh, a Patient Plotting, very good. That's basically guaranteed That is guaranteed, actually. I don't think there's any way Gendo can do anything here. Dead Fate on Gendo. That's Gendo, baby. Especially before he gets Adam out and playing. But that patient plotting is going to be very, very nice for Dgessner. And there's nothing that Codokay can do about it. Got Asuka's robot very early, which is good. And another nerve tank. Pretty good Gendo turn order we have going here, I would say. First name is Near. Not far. Not one of the names that Dgessner really wanted to see here. We're going to see a social manip. Gain 3, spend 2 for social manip. Oh no, Kiyomi actually. Get more hand draw going and have a Ryuk target. Very nice. Ritsuko over Kozo. I don't agree with this. This is a butter style play. I definitely think we're going to see Near here. Probably to yellow box, move Kiyomi Mellow. Would be my guess. Or no, not Kiyomi Mellow. Move Kiyomi Light is what I meant to say. Interesting. Near there and then flip Mogi Kiyomi. Interesting. Fair because Gendo doesn't really care that much about being faded. Ooh, that is going to be another guaranteed patient plotting. Good draw order on these patient plottings. Of course, Dgessner's gone through his deck pretty fast to make that happen. Probably going to see the mass production here, to be honest. There's not a lot of point in playing an Angel, but still going to do it. I guess it's worth playing the one Angel here. That's not where Sahaquail goes. I hope someone realizes. Well, we're just going to hope Sahaquail doesn't get shuffled in. Does have Near's name, so that'll kill Near. This is a guaranteed patient plotting. What do we have here? The Magi. Going to get some draw. This is going to be a lot of draw. Draw 3, discard 2 from activating the Magi. And then it will be another draw 2 from Ritsuko, which is going to move Armisail way down the line. But doesn't really matter where Armisail ends up, because he is just going to get third impacted once Codokay is ready to start the Adam train. So there's another name, and that's Mellows. That's really good name order. That is very good name order. That could be a huge difference maker here. Opening back up Task Force, fair enough. Oh, and then a social manip especially. So there's Mogi's name. This has been great name order for Light so far. I know I said at the start that Gendo typically adores this matchup, but with how this is going for Light, outside of that unfortunate timing on the Mellow pull, this is all going very well for Light, I would say. But now L is here, which is going to present a challenge. Covering Task Force instead of Yellow Box. Interesting. Really leaning into the fact that Gendo doesn't mind Fate pressure early. But also, at the same time, even ignoring the Fate, Light really enjoys, like, a gain 1 play discard. Okay, they figured out where Sahaquail is supposed to be. AT Field on Armisail doesn't really do much because it's just a target for that one card that I'll say the name of momentarily, I promise you. Just give me a second. Give me a second. Third impact. Misinfo thrown down, and then choosing to kill Mogi here over Mellow. Probably the good pick, opening up Light's apartment. Now, this is, there's some really good speed here. Oh, Misato is nice. Some really good speed here from Light, those early patient plottings. Putting Shinji at Nerve HQ, very intriguing. But, we do have a very well set up Gendo here, especially once Shinji gets in a dang robot. It's going to move Armisail to the final location. Getting Mellow over to Task Force, just opening that up. And then moving Ryuk here. I wonder if it would actually be smoother here to move L to Yagami and just give up on Yagami Residence and have it open. But also, Task Force is a location that you don't really mind being covered. We're going to see a Just As Planned, which is going to discard those 2 schemes to get L's name, and Mellow will be dying here as well. Does Gendo have Adam yet? There's not really a big point in playing Adam here on this turn, because wouldn't be able to play third impact at the same time. Another Nerve Artillery. This is a very set up Gendo. This game is going to end up going very, very fast. We already have Light at 4 names, and Gendo doesn't have a single token yet, but Gendo also has everything. Or I was looking at light there. But Gendo has, like, everything set up here. Just ready to blow it to pieces. I believe that was a multi-fate that's going to get Tabris out. Was really hoping not to pull a red alert there, I imagine. But unfortunately did, so that's just another third impact target, but it's fine. What just happened there? I missed what just happened there. Why was a complication pulled out? Must have accidentally pulled from it, but anyways, I believe Social Manip was played to get Aizawa's name. Off of L. I can't believe he socially manipulated L. That's crazy. We're seeing some drawing nonsense here. I imagine that Codokay has just not drawn the card and has thus been using Magi and Ritsuko to get to it, the card being Adam and or Third Impact. Kind of needs both of them. It's going to get Ide off of Yagami Residence, which is going to open up that Shinigami Eyes for Light, which is especially good when Light is getting a little low on power here. Ooh, are we going to see a second eye thrown down? It has to be an eye. Can't afford to play the book, and the book is the only other option, the Death Note. So that'd be 2 names right there. Ooh, definitely got to put an end to that. What have we got? Nope, one too many cards. Oh, so this is going to be at least 1 name. You can complicate the eyes away, or you can alias a name away. But it's going to be at least 1. It's going to be a net 1 name. Either you discard the Shinigami to stop one coming out, or you put back L's name. That's fair. But then 2 names are being gotten from these Shinigamis. Yeah, Codokay really needs to... Oh, gonna play Third Impact first here. Okay. I was gonna say, Codokay really needs to, like, Third Impact. That's not where a T-Field goes. Let's go. Figuring out what cards go into what discard pile as Gendo is the hardest part of the game. I have that problem myself. So we're gonna see... Ooh, Ide's name is great here, so it's gonna be a dead Ide this turn. This has been pretty good name ordering for Light. There's a Last Resort, which will help a lot. God of the New World. Desperate Gambit, maybe? Oh, Patient Plotting. Yep. And this is where Gendo is kind of being punished for not taking a moment to kill that committee meeting earlier in the game. Committee meeting isn't the kind of card that when you see you're like, I need to kill this immediately as Gendo, but it is the sort of card where you kind of don't want to just leave it sitting this long. Because not having the option to go and use that top fate in moments like this is a pretty big deal. So it's going to be the 7th name for Light. It is looking very in Light's favor here. Just going for Fate now that Adam is out. Wants to get to that last red alert. I believe there's only 1 left out of these 5 cards. So there is still a mass production Ava over Betrayal. Interesting. I probably would have betrayed Shinji here. Or even Misato. But covering Command Center because it's so strong is also very fair. Oh, Desperate Gambit. We're in Showdown here. Bad time for Matsuda because you do not want to move Matsuda anywhere. Or move Light anywhere, I mean. This is looking like Light's game to lose, more or less. He's in a very strong position. I do know that Rem is in the discard. We saw him discard Rem right out the gate earlier, so he does not have an easy solution for killing L. But what he does have is Gendo as an opponent, who is quite easy to fix. You don't want to do that. Okay, that was a play. Oh, what is this for 3? Oh, the Death Note. So we're going to kill them both here. So, I don't know why Codokay did it, but Codokay chose to move Light to Light's apartment during Light's turn, which means that Light basically just got to take 2 turns, more or less. Not a move I would recommend. We're going to see an angel come out here. It's Kagil! Look at him. Blah. Yeah, Gendo basically has to fate here. We're going to see a Horrible Truth. Going to kill Ritsuko, presumably. Going to kill Misato. Interesting. And use the robot or some nerve tanks. Going to use the robot, so that's 1 dead. Gendo is in a really strong position here. I'm just afraid that Light has had such a good tempo to his game that he might not be able to catch up fast enough. Complications doesn't really do anything here. I mean, you could get rid of the last resort. Actually, Complications might be the play, assuming that Dgessner... I don't think we saw Dgessner's second Just As Planned. A Just As Planned name grab could be what Dgessner is doing right here. If Dgessner has a scheme and Just As Planned, he wins. Plays the scheme Just As Planned, and then ability Death Note for a kill. This could be the last turn. And the fact that he's not immediately doing it, though, means that he probably doesn't have it. Oh, he's going to Desperate Gambit to get L's name. Or at least he's considering it. Deciding to move Ryuk instead of Chief Yagami to get a Shinigami Eyes. And then are we going to see a Desperate Gambit here? Is pretty low on power. Probably wants to Fate first. Yeah. Wants to get that last red alert, and there it is. Gendo has one guaranteed fate of no red alerts, and then we start the Gendo RNG machine from there on. Sachiel is here. The 5 strengthers did go by pretty early. So, unless Ariel shows up, we're not going to see another 5 strengther. And then we are going to see the Desperate Gambit. There's L's name. What's this top fate card? Complications. Well, get rid of the Death Note, maybe? Death Note or Last Resort? Gonna get rid of the Shinigami Eyes. That's gonna be game as a result. You had to get rid of the Death Note there. Last Resort wasn't an option. It had to be the Death Note to stop that right there. But Gendo was significantly behind, so even if Codokay had hit the Death Note, probably would have led to the same result at the end of the day. So there you go. That was a very well done game from both sides. Dgessner especially played that light super fast and super well. Those early patient plottings really made a huge difference because, as we've said, light typically doesn't enjoy this matchup very much, and it's because, as you can see right here, Gendo is so set up and is getting ready for these other instrumentality tokens that Gendo will win the game probably in like another 5 or 6 turns, which is a lot, but I think the committee meeting is what really killed Codokay here. Didn't get committee meeting out earlier to be able to try and use some top fates, because a couple of top fates would have really slowed down Dgessner and made a huge difference here. But still, incredible game from both sides, and we'll be moving on to game 2 very quickly. Actually, I might not even need a jump cut. Are they just getting in there immediately? I might not even need a jump cut. They might just be going straight for the bans here. It should be Codokay going first this time. Indeed it is. So yeah, no jump cut needed. How nice is that? So we're going to see Codokay choose who to ban here. I'm going to take this opportunity to grab myself this glass of water. Unlike last time, I remembered to get water before the recording. Gonna ban Light. Doesn't want to deal with that again. Totally fair. We respect some reactionary bans in this game. Doesn't want to have to go up against it again. Dgessner played a very strong Light there, so I don't blame Codokay at all. Banning Gendo. We will not have a repeat of any kind. And then, ooh, we're gonna see an all-for-one game. This is gonna be a treat. I love me an all-for-one game. I do love me an all-for-one game indeed. And then we're gonna get from Codokay, what are we gonna get here? Oh, thank goodness, they're doing the thing. Oculus. Okay, all-for-one and Oculus. This is going to be an interesting match. I'm gonna have to figure out how to commentate an Oculus game really, really fast here. Alright, so this is the debut for both of these characters. Oculus's first competitive game, I believe. I would say Oculus probably likes this matchup decently well, especially getting to go first, because it gives Oculus a really easy Quindecum turn 1 to do a little bit of discarding of bad cards and get a Fate underway. And really the reason why Oculus is going to like this matchup, I think, is the faster Oculus can block that top Fate, the better. And Arbitration Rules is already one of the most guaranteed schemes in the game. It's even more guaranteed against someone like All-for-One. Yeah, we're going to see a huge discard here. Ooh, not the best first Fate, but, you know, Could be worse. We are gonna see Todoroki go to Kamino Ward and put All Might. Oh no, gonna put Todoroki on the top fate instead. Interesting. I feel like All Might would have been the better one to get Todoroki that little bit of strength, and also All Might is more annoying. But also, you can move All Might by clashing, so All Might is more movable, so that's fair. I can understand the reasoning behind Todoroki here. We're gonna see Tatsumi come out, immediately shuffle in those cards. Probably, honestly, one of the best situations for Oculus in terms of when Tatsumi comes out. We also saw Nomu get thrown down over here at Quirk Lab, I believe it's called. Or no, is that Quirk Lab? That's Quirk Lab. An Arbiter being thrown down at Quindecim, trying to get ready to start clearing out that top fate once Ginty is in play. But yeah, Tatsumi here isn't too bad for Oculus. Obviously, Oculus just ditched a bunch of cards and they're immediately back, but it's better than, like, Tatsumi coming out 3 turns from now when there's way more. A Whiffed Endeavor is interesting, but also just getting to block that double play is very worthwhile. The faster you can take away All for One's action economy, the better, really. You're going to see All for One go over here anyways, and then we're going to see Kurogiri thrown down at Kamino Ward Crater, making that location that much more desirable. Ooh, early Deckham. This is looking pretty good for Codokay thus far. Ditching arbitration rules, interesting. Or are we going to see something that gets, warping to get Todoroki out of here? So it's going to open back up the top fate, which means that's something Codokay is going to have to get back on lock and allow another fate. Harada and Shigeru. I guess replay Tatsumi here, yeah? Oh, yeah, that sucks. Should have played Deckham in Battle of Life on Tatsumi to get him out of there before that got... No, that would have been a horrible play. That would have been the worst thing of all time. That was a pretty strong Shigeru for Dgessner here. Quite unfortunate for Codokay, but at least Codokay got Deckham out before that could hit Deckham. And then another big discard with Arbiters here. If we can ever get them to stack. Come on, TTS. There you go. And then a fate back onto All for One. Probably wants to block up. Ooh, Ida and Gran Torino both really good here. Both very good here. All for One still has no strength, so this is another whiff. Playing Gran Torino is the better call here. I think a rescue already passed, but there is another rescue to hit Ida with later. It's usually better to not play the students when the students are your option. Takashi and Misaki. Probably just choosing not to use Misaki's effect, I would imagine. There's not really much point to trying to put something into the roulette pile right now, because, especially if it's just going to be like 1 or maybe 2 cards, because you're basically just telling Oculus what mask he's going to be going for by doing that, rather than actually messing with him. All of these early Arbiters, which are very good for Codokay, given Tatsumi has been messing with her deck manipulation, so this is helping reclaim it a good deal, trying to get back to Nona. Really just wants to see, probably Ginty, actually. Ginty is what Codokay wants to draw into the most right now. Nona can wait. There's a multiplier, very nice. Did I miss a Strength Enhancer play? I think I missed a Strength Enhancer play on Kurogiri and Nomu. That's my bad, my apologies. Again, it's early, cut me some slack. Multiplier, give everyone some +1s, snag one from the Nomu, got some to target from Kurogiri. Codokay is really hoping to see Bakugo or Midoriya here. And, decent enough chance of it. Oh, wait. Deciding not to go to Vijinti? Nah, I go into Vijinti. Needs to try to get this Kurogiri. Oh, there's both of them. Well, I guess you probably play Midoriya here because One for All has already passed. But, yeah. Killing Kurogiri is a major boon for Codokay here. That's going to slow down All for One's game a good bit. And then, are we going to see anything else? Presumably a card play, but who's it going to be? Oh, Extreme Conditions. What fate have we got here? Ymera. Fair enough. See what's in this hand, hoping to probably catch, like, Ginty or something. Ooh, probably darts. Yeah, put that in and throw in a billiards. Why not? Yeah, that is a major pain for Codokay, because that darts could have gotten out Ginty Or Nona. But Ginty is who you really, really want right now. And then a Power Theft. No targets other than his own Nomu for that at the moment, but still. Yeah, we know that Codokay has a Billiards in hand, but Codokay cannot afford to Billiards and Darts. It'll cost 2 for Billiards, 1 for Darts. And then I think Ginty costs 2, which is what Codokay really wants. We are going to see the clash with Ymera after no card play, which is going to trigger Power Theft. Taking the 1 strength off of the Nomu, because that's the only target. And then what are we going to get from Dgessner here? He's considering his options. Going to UA High. Do we have Mr. Compress or something? Oh, he just has a really bad hand. A hand so bad that it's worth discarding and ending his turn. That's why it hurts so much to lose Kurogiri. I think we'll probably see a League of Villains being played in the not-too-distant future to try and get him back. Codokay is playing Mind Read just to get it out of hands, because it is a May, so even if there's no target, it gets rid of it. Uraraka is pretty good here. Could see Endeavor move to help cover the top fate and take away 1 strength from All for One. Could just see Midoriya move to the Nomu. Could just see Todoroki or All Might move onto the top fate. Probably wants to move someone onto the top fate to do some more coverage. Uraraka to Kamino Ward, and then it is going to be the Nomu kill. I'm interested in why Kamino Ward over UA High, or even League of Villains hideout. But that will kill the Nomu, so All for One is now out of allies to be using. Gonna need to get some back out there. Gonna get another Fate on Oculus. And then there's Yosuke, however you say his name. I know a Yosuke and I know a Yusuke, both from Persona. Neither of them are spelt this way. It's spelt without the first O or without the first U, without the only O. You know what I mean. There's the League of Villains. Only has power to get a Nomu out of it if it triggers this turn, but a Nomu would be fine. Well, it won't trigger this turn because there's no way that it can trigger. A hero can't be played. We're going to see Nona thrown down, and immediately using Nona to activate Deckham, which will allow these 2 cards to be played. So it's going to be a Darts play, presumably for Ginty. Did Codokay pay for that Darts? Or did I just miss something there? Because Deckham is for free, right? Yeah, I hope that Codokay didn't play for that Darts. Didn't pay for that Darts. I wasn't looking closely enough. But either way, Ginty and Nona are both out, which is a huge boon. A huge boon for Codokay. This game can very quickly start to swing in Codokay's favor now. Toga to start stealing some power from Uraraka. And by power, I mean strength. That's going to be a huge help, assuming a rescue Bakugo doesn't come in. What do we have here? Codokay is debating what to do. Doesn't have any power. Going to move Nona. And just in turn. Interesting. Mr. Compress was finally drawn? Yes, indeed. So that's why he wasn't using Toga's ability here. Gonna move Gran Torino over to Quirk Lab. Be able to gain 1 and then Fate. Debating where to put Gran Torino. Very fair. I think he ended up putting it at the better place in the end. Machiko, not only blocking the top activate forever and all time, but also throwing out a mistake, which is going to be a major headache for Codokay. And then we see some discards from Dgessner, or at least a discard. Now, the funny thing is, I'm not much of an Oculus player, but I believe this still is not a horrible position for Codokay. There are a lot of heroes out, but Ginty is out, Nona is out, Deckham is out. It's a twister, a twister. So Codokay can really start opening this up. And then we're going to see the Nona activate to get rid of Mistake. Followed by throwing out an extra Arbiter to one day be able to kill all of these heroes. hear my dogs barking over something. I hope it's nothing serious. Only discarding Unfurled Lotus. Must have seen some pretty good cards there. Wanted to get those draws in. We're going to see the use of the 1 power to nab +1 from Uraraka onto Toga. And I was about to say, probably going there to immediately steal it. All for One is slowly but surely gaining strength. All we've got in there is that 1 Billiards, and could just get rid of it right now with Mayu. Putting it at Vegenti, interesting. It says, once again, an empty roulette. And it does take Oculus a second to get roulettes going. I should be looking back over here. I got too focused on the fate and talking about the Oculus board state. We're going to see a Nomu thrown down over there where Midoriya is, because Bakugo can come out, of course, but this keeps the Nomu safe from Midoriya. Dgessner is going for a bit more of a spread instead of hard stacking the allies at Quirk Lab. There's the arbitration rules. Very likely to go off. Rescue probably on Bakugo here to kill Toga. Honestly, there's a world where you don't even play Bakugo, but instead you play like Ida or someone to double cover the top fate. Or just play Best Genus to cover the top fate. I would probably play Ida here and move like Ida Gran Torino to UA High, because that is a very hard top fate to recover. And Oculus really needs to... Oh, gonna decide the Best Genus. That also works. That works just as well. Well, maybe not just as well, but it works. And then League of Villains is going to proc here, which is going to guarantee a Nomu coming out. Putting that one at Quirk Lab makes a lot of sense. Have one at both locations. As I was saying a second ago, Dgessner is not doing the full stack, doing just a little bit of throwing some Nomus over here. That is going to trigger arbitration rules, so we'll see what Codokay chooses from these last 3 cards to throw in there into that roulette pile and get that roulette started. It's going to be bowling, so going for a Happy Face build. Distant cousin of Happy Feet. Going to Quirk Lab, gaining 3. What card are we going to see here? Going to throw down a Power Theft. Uraraka is an easy target here to gain some of that strength, so that's understandable. I think we've only seen 1 Strength Enhancer and 1 Multiplier, and we haven't seen a Hypertrophy, so it looks like a less than ideal all-for-one shuffle. A lot of those strength gain cards have shuffled to the bottom, and is probably causing some headaches for Dgessner at the moment. Quinn, to be able to start clashing at Vegenti, potentially. That's a free clash on Misaki now. Or actually putting it over Backrooms, that also makes a lot of sense. Honestly, it makes more sense. That puts Michiko and Shigeru in clash range, and also just makes that easier to defend in general, which is a huge boon for Oculus. And then a Battle of Life, gonna use that Arbiter to kill Misaki, which is gonna Power Theft Uraraka onto All for One, not even bothering to pause the timer for that. Why would you? It's a very fast thing to do. Alright, and we're back over to All for One. Shimada was that last fate. Oh my goodness, it's Misaki. She's back. Probably Shimada here. Putting him back at Vegenti. Oh, wait. Maybe deciding to do Misaki instead? No, it's going to be Shimada. Shimada. I don't play a lot of Oculus, and I don't play against a lot of Oculus, so I don't super know this character. I'm interested in the reasoning for putting Shimada, like, really covering that bottom discard. Oh, we're going to see a spinner play setting up to steal from him next turn. Might even have a multiplier in hand. Codokay is going to move Nona and then Twister, maybe? Oh, and arbitration rules, which is practically guaranteed to go off. And then getting to clash with Michiko, thanks to Quinn putting Michiko at 1 strength. Makes a lot of sense, starting to try and reclaim that top fate. We're going to see Toga spend 1, or All for One spend 1 on Toga. It's going to trigger the arbitration rules. A lot of options here for Codokay. These players are so fast. I'm wanting to talk about, like, hypotheticals and stuff in my thoughts, but I have to, like, keep narrating what's happening. Some of you might not be looking at the video right now. You're relying on my smooth morning voice to tell you what's happening in the play-by-play. And now I've lost my train of thought anyway. Oh yeah, I don't play against much Oculus, but I'm interested in blocking Vegenti so hard. That top move is strong, because it lets more Nona movement happen while bottom fading. So I guess that's probably the main reason that Dgessner is focused on keeping it covered instead of trying to reinforce the cover at the top fate or even cover the double play. We're going to see Hypertrophy finally come out and immediately steal one from the Nomu and put it back onto All for One. I believe there are no more rescues. Actually, have we seen a plus ultra yet? Are these 3 plus ultras? This might be 3 plus ultras, or at least 2 of them, which is insane. So these allies are super safe right now, especially because Codokay is not putting on fate pressure and instead trying to get back control of her board. Which is fair, because now with Ginty out, board control is back in Codokay's grasp. Discarding Waking Tree is interesting. Waking Tree is a pretty useful card. Errata, what does this one do? Up to 3 cards with a cost of 2 or less from the discard and put them into the roulette. Okay. Yeah, there are 2 cards in the roulette now, so putting in some different masks. So 1 angry Mask of Arbitration here to mess up those 2 good masks. Ooh, and a Rivets taking the 2 off the Nomu and gaining 2, getting a big power swing. All for One is in a pretty good position right now, I would say. Still has a little bit of strength to go. A Mind Read, that makes a lot of sense. So this is going to be probably either Yosuke or Tatsumi is going to be the target to kill here, I would think. That would be my assumption, at least. Can't kill Harada. Could kill Shimada or Mayu, since Castra is there, even without Castra there. Well, without Castra's ability. Would need Castra for the defeat. It is going to be a Tatsumi kill. Open up that top fate to try and get some fate pressure back. That's going to be a huge deal. Yep, 2 plus ultras. I think this last card is also a plus ultra, so I'm surprised we only just now ran into one. That's going to be a +1 on everyone. Gran Torino is starting to get buff, which is always a worry for All for One. That can really drag out his late game. Yeah, going to spin 1 on Toga there, take it from All Might. Very good call. Bouncing between Quirk Lab and Kamino Ward Crater, the classic All for One plays. We gonna see... Oh, a Strength Enhancer. I was wondering if maybe we had a multiplier coming up. So it's gonna be a +1 on the Nomu, and then probably on the other Nomu, or Compress. On Compress, that's fair. If Codokay targets Compress and kills Compress, which Compress is not in danger right now, Toga is. Was that the end of turn? Did we not see a steal, or did I miss the steal? Did All for One not take any strength from Spinner or Nomu there? They're trying to figure out what this last card is. I'm pretty sure it's plus ultra. I could be wrong, but I think it is. Codokay is also looking at All for One's discard, at least briefly. There aren't many cards left in All for One's deck, so it's easy to figure out what cards All for One has remaining. Mind Read on Deckham, probably just to get the arbitration rules out. And that is practically guaranteed to trigger outside of All for One going to League of Villains, which I doubt. Debating if multi-fating or not. Maybe this isn't plus ultra? I don't remember. If it's plus ultra, I doubt it's going to be a multi-fate scenario. No, it was Eraserhead, actually. I miscounted. I missed a plus ultra. I thought we saw Eraserhead earlier, but I think I was thinking of Best Genus, who was in play. Alright, that turns off all the abilities here. Turning off Toga there is very worthwhile. There's Mai, which is going to play Machiko to block that top fate again and get Mistake out there, which is going to be a major pain. I love putting Mistake over Oculus's ability. That's not how it works, but it looks funny. Stealing that 1 strength from Toga. Oh, right, and arbitration rules procs here, of course. It's going to be the other arbitration, which is the Happy Face one. Makes a lot of sense. And a League of Villains could get Kurogiri back with that. Could get a lot of stuff. All for One is very close to the strength necessary to be able to punch All Might with Quirk combo. I know we saw at least 1 Quirk combo leave earlier. I'm not sure if we saw more than that. So there could be a... I know we saw Shigaraki discarded earlier. We're going to see Nona activated on Ginty to get rid of Mistake and probably a clash with Shigeru Miyamoto here. thanks to Quinn. Ooh, a Battle of Life to use the Arbiter to kill Yosuke and then clash with Shigeru, opening back up the top activate, which is very, very good for Oculus. This is the thing about Oculus, is it usually always seems like he's doing, it usually seems like he's doing really bad in the early game, but the longer the game goes, the more board control he gets. Once Ginty is out, Nona is out, Deckham is out, Quinn and Castra, and once he gets that level of board control, it gets really rough to slow him down. He can just kind of like snowball. He's very similar to Queen Beryl in that way. But in other words, we're gonna see, ooh, a kinetic booster to kill, to kill Eraserhead, can use Toga's ability again. Very worthwhile, making use of all that power he has stockpiled. He took the 1 strength off of Spinner. If he has, oh yeah, it triggers extreme conditions, which this is, yeah, choosing Harada makes a lot of sense here. That's Dgessner's choice on who to make weak there. This is actually an All Might kill, assuming that Dgessner has the card in hand, Quirk Combo. Quirk Combo could be, I think he has 1 Quirk Combo left, could be in those last 3 cards, could be in hand right now. Bakugo and Rescue. Yeah, Bakugo doesn't stop it, and there's no one to rescue, I believe. Bakugo can kill Toga here, but it doesn't really matter, because Mr. Compress is still there with a +1. So, if... Oh yeah, and that is going to trigger League. We're going to see Shigaraki here, actually. Shigaraki. So now there are multiple ways. It's not just Quirk Combo now. A Strength Enhancer will also do it, or a Multiplier. Strength Enhancer or Multiplier, or Quirk Combo. Well, actually, Quirk Combo doesn't do it now, so he must not have it if he played Shigaraki, because he doesn't have the power anymore. And that was the end of Codokay's turn. If he has a Strength Enhancer or a Multiplier, ooh, must not have it. That sucks. That is unfortunate. Did they forget to give Bakugo his +1? It's not going to matter, but, like, whatever. Throwing down the Nomu at best Genist. Probably debating just killing someone. Just killing Uraraka. She's 0 right now, thanks to, whatever it is I'm thinking of. Ooh, maybe using Compress to kill Torino? Compress to kill Torino here would actually be really good. Especially because that's not where Compress goes. Getting a little confused. It happens to the best of us. Look at all these tokens littering the ground. This is all for one gameplay for sure. Yeah, they forgot to give Bakugo his +1, but it doesn't matter. Probably. But killing Gran Torino there is really good. He's not going to get back in this reshuffle anytime soon. So getting him out of there, especially when he already had a +1, is a huge boon. We're going to see a Nona move. Going to see an activate on Ginty to kill Shimada. And then no card play, or I missed the card play, one or the other. Are we going to see an All Might kill here? He just needs 1. Oh, he's got Quirk Combo. He did have Quirk Combo. I guess he either didn't realize playing Shigaraki, messed up his turn for that. We're going to see a Fate here, Black-Haired Woman and Takashi. And foregoing Black-Haired Woman just to get Takashi to block that top activate, even if he is clashable there. What does this one do? Oh, he's playing Human Emotions, which is going to let him look at the top 5 cards of the deck and put them into the roulette. Human Emotions lets him look at the top 5 cards in the deck. Yeah, it's being pulled out right there for me. Thank you, Falchion. Look at the top 5, choose any of them with cost of 2 or less, put them into a roulette, yada yada. And then that did force a reshuffle, it appears. That is a very messed up pile now. And then we're going to see the All Might Punch, which puts All for One into Showdown. Strength token's a little bit in the way there. Yeah, put it right over his ugly mug. And Codokay is officially on a heavy timer. Some air hockey to defeat Mayu, gain 1, get to use that move, probably an activate to kill either Takashi or Michiko. I could see either dying here. Probably wants to kill... Man, I don't know. Yeah, killing Takashi is fair. Michiko gives you more fate pressure to try and extend this all-for-one showdown, but getting to extend it at this point is going to be really difficult. I don't think... Is there a target in there? I don't think there's a target for rescue. I think this is a one-for-all play. Probably kill Shigaraki. Yeah, because that's a really easy, like, kill section right there right now. With Shigaraki out, so get him out of there. Midoriya doesn't lose any, well, Midoriya gets his strength back by being replayed by One For All and then loses one from, killing Shiggy. Yeah, Codokay is deciding, instead of trying to extend the All For One shenanigans, to try and, like, luck into some Deckham plays, which makes a lot of sense. What are we gonna see here? Really, all Dgessner wants to see right now is trying to figure out where those tokens are supposed to be. I think that +1 is supposed to be on Todoroki instead of Uraraka, but I can't remember. Ooh, Dabi, setting up Dabi for some murdering, and then punching Endeavor. Really, what Dgessner wants to be seeing right now is air cannons. We're going to see Deckham activate. Will Nona get a strength? Angry? Nope. Angry, happy, happy. Probably going to play the Angry Twister. Yep, indeed. And move Nona. The real question is, do you use Nona to kill Machiko here? Or do you try and get Nona to Deckham to speedrun even faster? Ooh, Old Maid to move Machiko and then just clash with her. Even better. Very strong play. Going over to Kamino Ward, we're going to see a Strength Enhancer. Probably just going to throw this on some Nomus. You don't need it on All For One at this point. Throwing another one on Dabi, that makes a lot of sense. Doesn't have to worry too much about buffing the Nomu at Best Jeanist, because he can really just go there and punch Best Jeanist at his leisure. Umera and Human Emotions. Yeah, covering the top fate. All For One does not care, really, how much progress Oculus makes at this point. So, like, doesn't need to try and block the black rooms? The back rooms, words. Doesn't need to try to block the back rooms. More so just needs to ensure that Oculus has a hard time fading so that less heroes come out, because All For One is nearly going to be killing a hero every turn at this point, especially with Dabi out. Gonna punch Todoroki. I don't know if it was Todoroki or Uraraka who was supposed to have that +1, but it's probably not going to matter. I can't imagine it mattering. Ida could move Midoriya here to kill Dabi, but it is going to... The problem with that is it's probably the right play. It's most likely what I would do. The problem with it is that it's going to split up these heroes more, which means that All For One is going to be able to ping-pong back and forth, go to Quark Lab, game 3, play a card, punch someone, go to Kamino Ward, play a card, Fate, punch someone, which is kind of ideal for All For One right now. I think there is a world where you actually move Midoriya to, like, UA high to just really block up that top fate. It's really looking to be in All For One's favor. I do think the Dabi kill is the smartest play at the end of the day here. Midoriya doesn't actually lose one because he gains one from Ida, so it's a net 0. Yeah, I think killing Dabi, just because of how incredibly strong at killing he is the right call here, but it does have the unfortunate side effect of now All For One can really ping-pong. We're going to see the move over to... Oh, no, not the move. Already used the move. Using Ginty, actually, to clear out the top fate again, which makes a lot of sense. Outside of an air cannon at Best Jeanist's location. Actually, can't air cannon, so outside of, like, Mr. Compress on Best Jeanist, a fate can't happen here, so keeping that open. Yep, exactly what I thought. Gonna ping-pong here. There's an air cannon to get Best Jeanist out, open up that top fate. Probably going to clash with Ida, I imagine. Yeah, don't want to clash with Midoriya here. That's going to shuffle, like, Midoriya right back in. We're down to just a couple of students left. And Nona still has no strength, so it's looking very in All For One's favor. But Oculus is insane. He could just pull out 4 strength 4 turns in a row, and... with fate pressure happening, it probably will take about 4 turns. One happy really messes that up. Gets an arbitration rules, though, which is nice. Not getting lucky on the Oculus pulls right now is probably going to be the death knell for Codokay, but there's always a chance. Especially with this very open board, Codokay can keep a lot of fate pressure up while still making decent progress with stuff opened like this. Where to put Best Jeanist here? Probably right back at the top fate. There could be an argument for League of Villains to make that location really bad. But in the end, I think UA High is going to be the call. It's going to trigger arbitration, probably putting another happy face of some manner in there. Don't know what's in the roulette right now. Is it all happy at this point? There's probably still one bad face in there, if I had to guess. Bad, sad, angry, whatever you want to call it. Everyone in the community calls it different things. I should say the No mask and the Oni mask, because that's what we officially call them. I just had a small panic attack. I glanced at my Streamlabs and thought I wasn't recording. Thank goodness I am. We're going to see a lot of discarding from All For One here. He's throwing down twice to just get some more power right there and then punching Best Genist. And this is what I mean with Oculus. Oculus is able to just jump back and forth here now. And we're going to see a Billiards to play a Twister to get Nona over faster. I think that Arbiter might be the only bad face in the pile. Is there a rescue target? I think Ida is in there. Ida is the rescue target, and then there's Eraserhead, but I think Eraserhead covering the top fate is good. Really wants to keep All For One's fate pressure down. Blocking Kamino Ward, interesting. Making the Nomu weaker. Alright, what does Dgessner got going on here? I was wondering, does he have Kinetic Booster? Kinetic Booster could be a really big play here to kill Eraserhead and then also kill, like, Uraraka. Using twice to kill Uraraka, 1-1. Poor Uraraka got togaed into oblivion earlier in the game. Ooh, and then Mr. Compress to move over Eraserhead and just punch him. Very good turn. Any turn where All For One can get 2 kills, we're a Kinetic Booster from this game being over. Kinetic Booster, Nomu kill on Bakugo, and then punch Midoriya. Mind Read once again. Oh, there are way more angry faces in this roulette pile than I realized. Actually, we're getting rid of the happy faces and pivoting to angry faces now. I did not realize when that happened. See, this is, I don't know a lot of, I don't know a lot of Oculus gameplay. Big discard. Codokay does not like Waking Tree. Learned that today. Father and Son. I don't think it really matters which one is played here all that much. I mean, Midoriya can kill Compress, but that doesn't really do a lot for you. Honestly, I think Endeavor to UA High might be the best play, just to keep that top fate covered. And he's harder to kill than Todoroki is. It's going to be Todoroki to the top fate. Yeah, I'm not sure why you would play Todoroki over Endeavor here, if you're not going to move a hero, but covering the top fate is all that really matters. Endeavor's just hanging over here like, why'd you leave me? Dgessner is really just wanting to block this top fate for any amount of time possible to get a turn where a hero is not being played. It really just takes one non-fate turn from Codokay to pretty much end this game. Or a potential Whiffed Fate from Codokay, which is it's very unlikely to get a Whiffed Fate against All For One. There's going to be the Bakugo clash, and Kurogiri is set up to kill Todoroki. Did I say 2 killed? 2 kill. Once again, we're in a position where Kinetic Booster or the other card I'm thinking of, Air Cannon, can end this game. Going to use the Activate on Ginty with Nona to immediately get rid of Mistake. That Mistake stopping the Ginty use... Never mind. I was going to say it could be what leads to the top fate staying covered and ending this game, but we are going to see the Battle of Life. I think an Arbiter should be discarded for that. Unless I missed something on how that played out. Gran Torino is who you want to see here. Yep. I'd probably put him at League of Villains. League of Villains makes the most sense. He's got no way to really deal with that right now. This is going to put Dgessner in a pretty rough spot for closing out this game. He really wanted to finish the game before Gran Torino showed up again. That is the end of that turn. Interesting. Not playing rivets to gain power. I honestly would have taken the 2 strength from the Nomu just to gain power and then thrown a strength on this Nomu. Throwing out a power theft, though, is fair, just to, and then discarding just to clean out your hand. Ooh, not a fate. If there was ever a time not to worry about a fate, it would be now. All angry. We've got a strength on Nona. 1/4 of the way there. Yeah, I think now is the time not to go for a fate because Gran Torino, I don't think there's any situation where Gran Torino can just die here. I don't believe so. Is Midoriya? Midoriya's at 4? Yeah, Midoriya's out of range of a Vanquish kill as well. Mine has been put in here at some point. So there's 1 strength on Nona. Very strong board control. I thought a scheme was being played. Oh, a scheme was played. Arbitration Rules was played, which is going to proc right now. There's definitely still a world where Codokay can bring this back just through the sheer amount of pressure late game Oculus can exert. Do we have an air cannon? An air cannon is what Dgessner really needs to try and clean this up right now. Kinetic booster, able to kill Midoriya with it thanks to the giving the strength to the Nomu. It's going to shuffle Midoriya back in and get rid of One for All. Midoriya quite likely to come back, but it's not really a big deal. Really, it's the discard right now is what matters. And there's an air cannon that won't kill Gran Torino, but it's going to weaken him. Put him on the top fate. Nah, moving him over here. That makes more sense. And giving him -2, so he is very, very killable. Oh, and then he's going to clash with him at the end of the turn to make him a 0 strength at UA high. Oh, yeah. Very strong position for Dgessner here. There's the Clavis play to move Nona all the way to Deckham and activate, trying to get that second token. I think it might be guaranteed. I don't know if there are any happy faces in here. Yeah, because there hasn't been much shenanigans done by Dgessner to mess with the pile lately. That's going to get Nona all the way back over to Ginty at 2 strength. Rescue is going to play a hero, so it's not a dead fate. Plus Ultra does, like, nothing, though. Was pretty much wanting to see Midoriya here. Probably Midoriya to Quirk Lab, kill Nomu, maybe? Or kill Kurogiri, actually. Gonna see Bakugo show up to kill Kurogiri here. Now, if there is a kinetic booster in Dgessner's hand, this is game. Kinetic booster will kill Gran Torino, and then he will clash with Bakugo. But I'm not sure there's really a better play that could have been done, to be honest. Or you could have Air Cannon, now that I think about it. Air Cannon would also do it. Yeah, it's a free Gran Torino kill. Air Cannon? Nomu move, Kinetic Booster? Anything? Nope, just a Strength Enhancer. Unfortunate. Did not have the card needed to close out the game. This late game shuffle is really giving Dgessner a rough time. But he is once again at WinCon. So he is forcing Oculus to fate every single turn. But because Oculus isn't getting fated in return, Oculus is able to just barely make incremental progress. Bowling to play Arbitration Rules. Wants to make sure that the pile does not get beneath 3 cards, because then it'll really stagger the gameplay. This was a guaranteed Midoriya plus Ultra. Who do you kill with Midoriya here? Yeah, that's fair. Dgessner probably should have moved that stronger Nomu over. Even if it would have been targeted, it would have at least left him a Nomu at that location. We're going to see him go here, trigger Arbitration. He just wants to punch one of these kids. He's just discarding really hard to get one of the cards that will let him win the game. Yeah, because those cards are all doing nothing for him. And then killing a hero every single turn by clashing. I also just realized that this All For One has gotten down to 6 strength. It's not often you see All For One get this low after having killed All Might. All right, this should be Nona at 3 strength. This game has gotten way closer than I expected. It is very possible that Codokay could bring this back. We're going to see the arbitration rules played. That makes the most sense. And that gets Nona to 3. Just 1 to go, and the only hero out is a basically dead Harada. That dude was put under extreme conditions years ago. We don't know what cards... Dgessner has drawn. It's very unfortunate that he hasn't been able to get a kinetic booster and an air cannon. A differently timed kinetic booster or air cannon would have won him the game on like 3 separate turns. Gotta be Endeavor here. You gotta get a hero out. Actually, taking away this 1 strength from All for One, he's getting pretty low. That could actually matter. Now, we are once again in a position where kinetic booster or air cannon wins the game. Gonna see arbitration, keep that pile healthy with angry faces. Is this game? Move over the Nomu? Yep, kinetic booster, that's game. He finally drew it. Really, it was just a matter of getting to kinetic booster or air cannon at the right time, and it took Dgessner a very long time to reach those cards when he needed them, but he finally got it. Very well done from Codokay, keeping up that late game Oculus Fate pressure and getting Nona to 3. All for One was in Showdown when Nona was at 0, so that ping pong of going between the Fates, keeping them open and keeping this game going as long as it did was very impressive. But in the end, All for One is a very inevitable character, and Fate Pressure can only do so much once he's hit Showdown. So, I believe that is a 2-0 for Dgessner. He won both games, so sadly we will not have a third. Well played from both sides, and just really good games overall. So we're going to see Dgessner moving on to the next round. And so as we can see on the bracket, this means that Dgessner will be moving on to the next round, while Codokay unfortunately has been eliminated. Dgessner is going to have to stay on his toes, though, because he is going to be going up either against Mr. Metroid or Butter King for round 2, which is going to be a challenge, to be sure, but he will have an opportunity to potentially cause an upset, so very much looking forward to how that round 2 game plays out. But before that, we have plenty more round 1 matches to go before we can start worrying about round 2, so look forward to the next game. Until then, farewell.